to be healthy again, it has to gain first shit tons of water and then shit tons of weight or fat. In my case, in some cases, I've seen girls, men who have gained maybe 10 pounds or something in the whole of their recovery, or even 20, and good for them. It's very, very varied. It just depends what your body needs to do, and unfortunately it's something that you can't control, and I think that's the hardest thing about it, is that it's out of your control. It's not something you can't tell, right, I'm going to have gained 100 pounds in a year. You can't get your head mentally around it because you just don't know, and that is the hardest single thing I think that I've had to deal with in recovery, is just letting go and being able to, right, no, I've gained this, but I'm going to carry on. I've gained this, but I'm going to carry on. And it does get easier. It definitely gets easier. So, the first set of weight is very hard. And then as you regain your body mass, your brain starts to function better as you're fed more. And that's when you start to see things more clearly. You start to sort of think, well, I'm not huge. I haven't sort of ballooned in a day or something. You can understand that when the brain malfunctions, it is underfed, it malfunctions. So that gets less, which I can talk about in another video. But essentially, as you refeed, your brain functions better, and therefore you can be a bit more rational about this process and about the weight gain and about the water, and you can sort of look at it like, right, well, I've gained my water, I've gained my fat, and now I'm going to gain my muscle, and you can tell, because when I first started, like, I was very, very puffy, but it was only like around my face, which obviously I've still got fat around my face, but it sort of all goes onto your stomach. That's kind of a very typical way that you gain weight first in recovery, is that it all goes onto your stomach, and then after a while it redistributes. You sort of get this bloated pregnant belly kind of thing when you first start recovering, and I don't think there's one person I've spoken to, one woman anyway, that hasn't been mistaken for being pregnant. And it's horrible. It's just one of those things, that happens, and you just kind of have to think, well, I'm in recovery from a severe eating disorder. I've not been well. I'm healing myself. It's kind of like if somebody was recovering from depression or something like that, and they'd been self-harming and they had cuts on their arms, you wouldn't be like, oh, you're disgusting for having cuts on your arms. You'd have sympathy for that person. You think, well, that's terrible, and that's something that needs to be cured, and needs kindness, and needs understanding and looking at, instead of, like, in society today, unfortunately, when you recover from a chronic eating disorder, the thing you need to do is eat, and you need to feed yourself properly. And unfortunately, the side effect of that can be weight gain, fat, puffiness. People might look at you and kind of think, oh my god, she's got massive, or whatever. It's difficult. It's really difficult. It's kind of like you've got this tiredness and you've got this weight gain, if you're like me, and you've got people sort of saying, are you okay, you have gained a lot of weight. And it's like saying to an alcoholic, oh, you're really boring when you drink, when you don't drink. Oh god, I wish you just, you sure you don't want to just drink a little bit? That's what people sort of say. They're sort of like, well, can't you just eat healthily and sort of recover but not too much? That's exactly, actually, and there's a blog post about that on the forums, saying people around you want you to recover, but there is that societal norm that you still have to conform to, and that's what's really hard as well. It's not just the weight gain for yourself, it's the fact that you're in a public arena doing it, and people notice, because it's a physical thing, unfortunately. So that is hard, and so edema is certainly something that is a shit part of recovery, I'm not gonna lie, But number one, you might not necessarily have it that bad. I think I've probably been quite a severe case, and there have been severe cases. It's not forever, and that's the most important thing. Is it's not forever, it's temporary. It feels like forever when you're going through it, make no mistake, but when you do, it will happen and it will come down. And I'm 2 years in, and I know, or nearly 2 years in, and I know it will happen because I've noticed other changes. I've noticed my muscle growing, I've noticed, you know, my legs getting less puffy, I've noticed, you know, it going from my stomach and redistributing, so, and my weight gain stopping, you know. So I know that I've hit these milestones that it is said that you will hit. So I know that it's just a matter of time before this other milestone is hit. It's just a part of recovery. And unfortunately, the worst thing about recovery, about, you know, the weight gain or whatever, is the thing that goes away last. So you've kind of got to have faith, and you've got to focus on other things that are improving, like the mental aspects. Your brain functions better. I feel happier. I feel like I can have a laugh more. I'm not preoccupied with food anymore. I mean, there are relapses and that can happen, but nothing like I was before. And ironically, the way I feel about my body, although it's difficult and there are days when I just think, I just want this to be over, overall, I felt worse about my body when I was at my slimmest, tiniest weight, you know, kind of those days when I was eating food and then spitting it out into a napkin because I was scared of the calories. Those days I had the most amazing figure and I felt the crappiest. So it just goes to show that feeding and eating and nourishing your brain and your body is so important for how you feel and how you perceive yourself. So I'd say that, yeah, it's crap, but it's not permanent. It's necessary. You need it for recovery. You need to, your body needs to do this. This is how your body heals. You know, you wouldn't look at someone who's just come out of a car accident and been like, oh, but you're covered in cuts and bruises, and, you know, oh God, your legs are all swollen, you know. You just wouldn't do that. It's just because it's like an invisible disease, unless you're super thin. People don't get it, and you just have to realize that it is necessary. So yeah, it's shit, it's temporary, it's necessary. It happens to everybody. I think edema does, not the large amount of weight gain, but it does happen to everybody. It's totally normal, and I just wanted to sort of say, I get it, I'm going through the same thing, and it will go away, and afterwards I will be left with the normal eating relationship with food that I have now. It's going to be natural and normal like it is now, and it will get easier. You know, the things that I struggle with now, because I'm in quite a big body, I'm sort of a size 22, 20 English size, so it's obviously quite large. Those issues will go away, and maybe I won't be super thin. I don't probably think I will. I'm probably naturally supposed to be quite curvy person anyway. But I know that my body will naturally find its set point weight. It will get there. Well, my dog is just ripping up a letter I just got in the post. So that's what he's ripping up. Sorry, you can hear it tearing. But yeah, just, you know, it will get better. So don't worry too much. You know, what's a bit of fat and water and stuff for a few years, just while your body heals. Just let it heal. Just let your body do what it needs to do. Trust it. If you're having a bad day, fucking scream into a pillow or whatever you need to do. Cry, rant, throw stuff around the room. Obviously careful, don't throw it at people. I did get frustrated, get angry, you know. Yeah, fuck diet culture. Like, it's not your recovery that has done this to you. It is your eating disorder. It is restriction. So remember that that is what is the enemy, and that is what you're moving away from. So just fixate any anger, any frustration, any tears you have, fixate it on the years of diet and screwing with your metabolism that you've done, and just remember that it takes time, and respect your body enough to give it the time it needs to heal. So yeah, that's it. Cool, I'll see you in the next video. Okay, bye.